How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Fredericksburg. I know it's been a long time since I've done anything in the town here, and I just want to get back to building and expanding it. I actually have a lot of buildings planned. I think I have 12 already designed and even the parts ordered for. Those are going to go back on this back row here, and then also fill in all this green area on the right, which hasn't been developed yet. So I just want to kind of get back into the swing of things with this video. My plan today is to extend the dirt roads back here into the back, coming off of the main split, those angled roads. I also want to try to fill in this green area back here in front of the hills, behind the vineyard. And then I think I also want to try and upgrade the paved road out front, at the main road through town. Right now it's just these kind of standard Lego plates, and I have a lot of parts, so I want to try to upgrade that, I think. So that's the plan for today. Let's get into it. So before I get started on the roads, I have a couple quick updates. Last time we built the jewelry store in the back here. The top curved jumper behind that jewel for the kind of the sign or the thing that indicates what the store is. You can see it's black. At the time when I got the parts, the white version of that only came in, I think, a Sonic brick heads or something, and I don't want to buy that whole set just for that piece. But now it's more readily available, so I'm going to switch that out. Alright, there we go. That is much better. I did not like that black one. It was just the only color I could get at the time. The white one looks much better with the white corrugated roof there on the jewelry store. Next is this cow over here. He just has some normal horns that he came with, but I finally got a pair of longer horns, so let's switch him out to be a proper longhorn. Alright, that's much better. Now it looks like a longhorn fit for Texas. I actually don't know when longhorns were introduced in the Texas Hill Country. I don't know if they were here in the 1900s, early 1900s, but we'll just say that they are because I like a longhorn a lot better. Now let's go ahead and get started on the dirt road extension. Alright, so there we go. Got our extended dirt roads. I obviously need a few more 1x2 tiles to finish the sides in there. I actually went with a different pattern this time. I had the old ones used these 2x4 tiles. I didn't have any of those. One day at the Lego store, these 2x2 tiles were on the pick-a-brick wall, so I got a huge amount of those. And I think it looks okay. I did a pattern there that kind of tries to make it look like it's not a pattern. And I used those other ones with the studs, just like the old ones. But I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I need to get some tiles there and then some triangles along the angled buildings. But other than that, you can see that the road's expanded now. You can see a couple green spots where I have a couple big buildings planned for next time. But it's looking pretty good. Next, I'm going to upgrade this paved road. There's one paved road through the town. It's early 1900s, so they just have one road paved. I've been using these plates from Lego. I think they look okay, but I have a big bag of these tiles, so I thought I'd go ahead and just use those up and see how that looks, and still use these stripes, but just have the tiles all the way down, see if that gives a little more texture rather than these big smooth areas. Alright, so here's my mock-up. I'm using these 16x16 tan plates because I have a ton of them, and then all those 2x2 tiles like I mentioned. I am actually thinking about not using those white stripes because if I do, I'll have to have rows of 1x2 on either side, and I just don't have that many 1x2s. So I'm thinking about just only using these staggered 2x2s like this. I'm actually playing around with not pushing them down all the way, so you kind of get this textured, like it's not a modernly perfectly smooth road like in the modern times, so maybe it looks a little older. I actually just was going fast and didn't push them down all the way, but I think that looks pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that in all of them, and if I don't like how it looks, then I can just come back and push them all down, but I think that looks pretty cool. All right, just need to build 15 more of those. There we go. We have a nice new bumpy looking road here to replace that old paved road that just used those Lego plates. I think it turned out pretty good. Definitely let me know what you think. So let me know if it's too bumpy or not. It's a new paved road, so it's like my town is in 1900, so this would be a new road. So I don't think it'd be quite as good as modern roads, but I think it can drive on there pretty well. I did take the white center stripes off, as you can see. I actually I did it just mainly so the spacing worked, so I wouldn't have to put 1x2s or 1x plates on the sides, because I don't have many of those. But I did look it up. Looked like the white striping on roads in America didn't start until I think 1911 or something like that, and they weren't popular or common in Texas until like the 40s or even 50s. So I think in period it's worked out really well, because like I said, this is 1900. But I like that road. I think it's looks a lot better than the plates. So next I want to go over here and start filling in this green space behind the vineyard in front of the hills. I want to build a stone wall around that green area to create a paddock for all the goats that the shepherds are raising, and that they then bring over to the mohair store that we built in the town last time. One, because this is Stonewall bricks, so we should have a stone wall in our town, and then also just because they are pretty common. You see them in a lot of old ranches still in the area. If you're not familiar with the hill country, there are tons of rocks everywhere. So in order to use the land, say for farming, you would need to pick all those up. So a lot of times families would collect all those rocks and use them for stone walls around their property. So I got a bunch of pieces here, and that's what I'm gonna try to do. So here's the stone walls. I think they turned out pretty good. I just alternated some light gray and dark gray, and they have all the slanted stones on the top row there. It's actually a pattern. I don't know if you can tell there or not. You can probably tell where these dips are here, which I might fill in a couple to take away that pattern if it is apparent. But the rest of it, I don't think you can really tell it's a pattern. It's a long pattern. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I think it turned out pretty good. With those rounded plates, we'll be able to kind of bend the wall. So I think maybe just kind of like, they're usually pretty flat, but maybe I can kind of curve around or something in there. But let's get over in that green area and see what I can do with it. All right, so I got the rock wall in here. Didn't film it, it's kind of hard to get it in there. But you can see it goes behind the vineyard here, kind of mostly straight, put little curves in it just to make it look a little more organic. And then it curves around the corner there and then runs alongside the hotel. Probably don't need that section along the hotel there because it's just right up against the building, but it doesn't hurt. Add some color. And you can see there's a little gap in between the hotel and the hills over here where they can lead the goats right into the back of the mohair building back there. Then if we look at coming off of the street back here, you can see the dirt road kind of ends right before the rock wall, and then there's a crumbling section there. Imagine kids and people probably climb over the wall there, and over time it's just fallen down. Got a couple more crumbling spots in the left corner there, and then just one more in the middle, and I think it looks pretty good. Didn't use all of it. There's about one section left I didn't need. So that green area is pretty flat, and this is the hill country, so I'm going to try to create kind of a hill in the middle, maybe for the goats to stand on. I have a ton of these 1x2 slope pieces in green. I don't remember where I got these, but I'm going to try to use those, and then just some green bricks and other slopes that I have, and kind of just make a hill in there.
So there we go, we have a couple of shepherds or goat herds leading the goats and the sheep back behind the hotel to the mohair warehouse, which you can see is on the back straight there. And they have access to that on that green area behind the hotel. I just had 3 goats, so I put them, and then I had 4 sheep, 1 and a lamb. Only one of them has the big wool piece on it, so I guess the rest, their wool's not as much, but they can still all go over there and get sheared. I also put on this side a beekeeper. He has 4 hives there. I put a couple of grill pieces on that one that he is lifting the honeycomb out of. I thought that looked good. I didn't really know what else to put in this area, so I just put him because I had him. Still a little blank spot back there, but I think it looks a lot better with the rock wall now and all that filled in. I don't know if you can tell with my voice, you probably can, but this is actually a couple weeks later, or a few weeks later. I've been pretty sick. But the good news is that some of the parts I ordered came in, so I was able to finish the dirt road back here, along with these angled plates on the side. So I got that done. And then also, now that those parts came in, I have another little project I can do this video, is replace this tree right here. Never been too happy with that tree. I just put something to counter it with the other one in front of the community center here. It's just a quick little thing I designed, but I'm going to take that out and actually replace it with a giant Christmas pyramid. If you're unfamiliar with Christmas pyramids, they're a traditional German decoration. Usually they're smaller, kind of tabletop things. They're wooden with a fan on the top, and you light candles under them, and they spin around and display scenes from the nativity for Christmas. But the real city of Fredericksburg in Texas actually puts up a 26-foot tall one every year outside of the Octagon Community Center there. So that's what I'm going to be recreating here. Like I said, I've been sick, so this was originally designed before Christmas, but it's only a couple weeks into the new year, so I think it's still appropriate. So I'll start by just first removing the tree, give us some room to work with. And I'm just going to build the pyramid up layer by layer, which scene by scene. I'm going to be using micro figures to act as those wooden figures you saw in the real version. That's because they're slightly smaller than the minifigures. There aren't too many options for micro figures. Most of them came in some Lego board games back in the day, so I had to kind of get creative. With here we have these orange guys are going to be the wise men. So I got 3 wise men. They got gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then just add some supports for the next level. The next level I have 2 shepherds, which these shepherds look a little bit angry, but that's the best I could do for shepherds in these micro figure options that I had. And you can see I got 2 shepherds and 2 little micro sheep following them around. This layer I had to use jumpers to get that tapered effect, because each layer is supposed to be getting kind of smaller, which is a little hard to do on this scale in Lego. For the 3rd layer we have baby Jesus in the manger, and I got this guy for Joseph and this mini micro figure for Mary. She looks a little angry too. I wanted to get a blue and a pink one, but they just didn't really have those options, so this is the best I could do for these. And then for the top layer I have the angel. I thought that crusader kind of looked like an angel, and then I put a gold ring on top to act as a halo. I think that one worked out okay. I would have rather them been white, but once again, kind of low on options. And then on the top we have that wooden kind of fan. This thing is really delicate, but I think if I get it on there and just don't touch it, it should look all right. Yeah, it's pretty delicate, but I think I get the effect of it pretty good. And there we go. We have our Nativity Christmas pyramid. It looks pretty big compared to the minifigure, but I think the scale's pretty close. The one in real life is quite big and impressive as well. 26 feet. Yeah, I think I forget what the height of the first floor of the Friends Kirch building is, but I think it's around 20 feet or so, but I'm not sure. But I think the scale looks all right. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I wanted to get that out for Christmas, but I've just been so sick. But it's nice to finally get it out. So there we go. We had a lot of small projects going on this episode. We fixed that paved road out front to make it look a little different than just those Lego road plates. We added or extended the dirt road in the back there, going up into the sides. We built that Stonewall around the sheep paddock. We added some sheep and goats, a little beehive there. And then we're even able to add the Christmas pyramid that I had that idea for a while. I just didn't know when I would be able to do it. So all I think it looks pretty good. Thanks for joining me in Fredericksburg today. And next time we'll be working on a big building in the back there. So guesses in the comments what you think that might be.